Let's do a quick check of the remaining NFL NFC Playoff Race drama heading into the last week. Here's where things stand. The Eagles and Rams have clinched their divisions. And if you want to know why the Seahawks are eliminated, I'll go over that in a couple of minutes, as it is quite the story. But this leaves us with the Lions and Vikings fighting for the NFC North, both obviously already in the playoffs. And the Buccaneers and Falcons are vying for the NFC South, with whomever doesn't win that division being out of the playoffs. In the NFC North, both teams are at 14-2, and they play each other week 18. So winner is the division champion and gets #1 seed in the NFC. Now, two things. First, I want to thank Dan Campbell for not benching starters, as that gave me a fantasy championship despite playing the Colts and their -7 points defense. Second, the very much discussed premise that he should have benched starters against the 49ers because it did not matter as things would be decided in week 18 was 100% false. And here's why. The Lions clinched the NFC North with a win over the Vikings, or a tie. That's the thing that people were missing in the bench starter discussion. Because they beat the Vikings earlier, if they end up tied, the Lions would win the tiebreaker, the first one being head-to-head. If they had lost against the 49ers, it would be the Vikings that would have had that advantage of being able to play to a tie. And we're kidding ourselves to think that is not a big deal in the fourth quarter of what is expected to be a tight game. So now, as it stands, the Vikings clinch the division with a win over the Lions and a win only. The only other mystery is for who is going to be going to the playoffs between the Buccaneers and Falcons in the NFC South. The Buccaneers have a game lead, but the Falcons own the tiebreak over them, having swept the season series. So the Buccaneers must stay ahead in win-loss record, which they will do with a win or tie against the Saints, or the Falcons losing or tying against the Panthers. The only hope for Atlanta is to win and have the Buccaneers lose. Finally, in case you were wondering and missed the full discussions on this the past few days, here is why the Seahawks are already eliminated, even though they could tie the Rams if they beat them in week 18. If the Seahawks win, they both end up at 10-7. Going down the tiebreakers, if that happens, they would have split the season series. They would both be 4-2 in the division. Their common game record by coincidence would be identical as well at 7-3. So that brings us to strength of victory. And here's where they stand on that front. Since they are in the same division, we can simplify this and just use wins instead of winning percentage. Right now, the Rams have 72, call it SOV wins, to the Seahawks 66. And week 17 was an unmitigated disaster for the Seahawks on this front. Almost nothing went their way to help their positioning with this. So this is what it would be the best possible outcome in week 18 for the Seahawks, to either gain these SOV wins or not have the Rams make any further gains of their own. If the Cardinals, Falcons, Broncos, Lions, Bears, Chargers, Patriots, Dolphins, and Buccaneers all win, the Seahawks would gain 7, and their total would be up to 73. However, in 2 of those games, the Rams would also gain 1 SOV win each, and that would put them at 74. So the best possible outcome for Seattle still has them losing very narrowly in this tiebreaker, and thus they are eliminated. That's it for now in the NFC. Likes and subscribes welcome. Check out the Playoff Computer app to do geeky analysis on your own leagues. And if you follow Premier League, I do similar updates on that. Otherwise, until next year, enjoy your day.